Now it's my pleasure to introduce our principal speaker, a person who's had a distinguished military career. He is a Hopedale resident now, graduate of the United States Military Academy, entered the formal naval service in 1977. He later won his wings as a naval aviator at Pensacola, Florida, served multiple deployments during the Cold War in the Western Pacific, and later occupied a very prestigious position on the planning committee of the Joint Chief of Staff at the Pentagon. He's now very much involved, citizen of Hopedale. He's been so helpful to us over the years in Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and the days he's been being here. So it's my great pleasure to introduce to you Lieutenant Commander Thomas Wesley.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls of Hopedale. We are met here to honor the dead. It is a time for a quiet reflection upon the most extreme sacrifice of our brave soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines that they can make, life itself. They died in service to their country, our country. Their sacrifice was made for each of us standing here. Their deaths were most often upon foreign lands, upon the open seas, or in the skies above hostile territory. Their deaths were often violent. Their deaths were tragic. John Donne reminded us, "Each man's death diminishes me, for I am a part of mankind. Therefore never send to ask for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee." Governments and peoples have not yet learned to find peaceful ways to resolve their differences, and until they do, we are destined to add names to the marble tablets and the granite bases that adorn monuments in towns across America that are much like Hopedale. If you're like me, we watch the Memorial Day parade go by and listen to the speakers talk with one eye on the podium and the other on our child who may be in the crowd of marchers. Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Little Leaguers, firefighters, police officers, the high school marching band punctuates the beat. Perhaps we gain a glimpse of a flyover of a military aircraft. It is truly the fabric of life, especially in small-town America. Our soldiers of past centuries have died abroad. Long gone are the days when crowds of citizens assembled to watch an engagement firsthand from the field or from a street, as they did in the Battle of Gettysburg in 1863. The battle wounded filled the hospitals, public buildings, and private homes of citizens in the town for months. Soldiers, both blue and gray, were tended to by a meager medical staff. War was brought home to America in the most savage of ways. Death and destruction, ravaged landscapes, broken crops, twisted limbs, and the stench of death at our very doorstep. Thankfully, those days in America passed a long time ago. So perhaps we may be forgiven if the sting of battle and the severity of life lived at the pointy edge of the sword are foreign to us. Those images and experiences still persist upon those foreign shores, and the strength of the armed forces of the United States permits us the luxury of taking the fight to our enemies where they live and not where we live. Those battles go on every day, somewhere in the world where our forces deploy. And life hangs in the balance along the perimeter when the first shot of the next conflict can ring out at any time. And while the brave and noble people who served our armed forces do today as their honored predecessors have done throughout our history, those things that we cherish as we watch the parade go by were hard won by their sacrifices of those who raised their hand to take the oath of office to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. But they raised their hands once more. They raised their hands and said, "Send me. Send me so others I love won't have to go. Send me that you may enjoy the warmth of a summer's day, unmarred by the fury of bullets and bombs. Send me so that you may watch your children march in parades. Send me so that I may secure the blessings of liberty for you and your posterity. Send me because I understand that battle against tyranny is worth fighting for, and that which is worth fighting for may result in my death. It is written in the New Testament, "Greater love hath no man than this, that he lay down his life for a friend." Perhaps you will recall the final scene in the film Saving Private Ryan, which chronicled a successful effort at great human cost to find and extract the last surviving child of 4 from Normandy. The dying Captain Miller uttered his last words to Private Ryan. "Earn this," he said. And Private Ryan spent his entire life attempting to do just that. He tried to live a life that was honored, where he honored the deaths of so many people, so that he could live to enjoy a complete life. So please, before you toss that match on the charcoal this afternoon, or any other afternoon, pause to reflect upon what we as Americans must do to be deserving of this great act of love. To earn this. And please do not simply say thank you and move on. Franklin Roosevelt, on the eve of World War II, spoke of 4 freedoms. Please commit yourself to exercising your freedom of speech, your freedom of religion. Commit yourself to building a just world that provides freedom from want and freedom from fear. Demand it and fight for it. Speak out about it. It is the very least we can do to earn their legacy to us, freedom. Thank you very much.